Alberta, and then we moved to British Columbia. So I kind of have this perspective, this national perspective, and my family's scattered all throughout Canada. And as we were talking about what this could look like, I was like, oh my goodness, let's hear the stories of women who are loving Jesus day in and day out. They're not seeking after some kind of like microphone or some kind of platform. They're just living it out in their everyday life, living it out with their family, living it out in their business, living it out with their neighbors. And let's talk to those women. The women that really, as we rise up, we are part of a movement of women that are believing in Christ. Because the interesting part that I'm realizing now with this COVID situation is that we're all equal. There is no stage, right? There is no, somehow in our minds, we've created a hierarchy of some sort, and there is none. Before the Lord, everybody is equal playing field. And so to hear the story of my sister is where my heart really lied as we started to develop this and brainstorm and dream a little bit. Let's hear what is happening in each individual life.
Yeah, that's so good. Let's start with you, Alita. Sort of the hope story in your city, and maybe, if you want to go bigger into province, about what God is doing today in British Columbia.
Yeah.
So you sing, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, these are unprecedented times. And so we're all having to find unique ways of continuing forward in community and somehow continuing to be the church, even though we can't gather together. And so I have just been proud, I think, globally and locally, of seeing the church rise up in that. And the creative people, to see their minds beginning to spin and develop, it's just been so awesome. But I would say one thing I've seen locally within Vancouver at our church plant, even though we haven't actually planted yet, we do have a launch team. And we identified a need fairly early on in the city of Vancouver, where there's quite a few care homes. And if you've been following the news, you would know that care homes here in the Lower Mainland have been hit quite hard by COVID. And so they kind of shut down pretty early on visitors from being able to go there. So there was these seniors and these elderly people who were not able to visit with their families, and they were missing just that one-on-one connection. And so what we actually did is we created postcards, 400 of them, and our launch team just wrote handwritten notes. And then in a safe, sanitary way, we locked them up, put them in the freezer, I think for a week or 10 days or something, and then delivered them to different care homes in Vancouver. And just the response we've gotten back from the workers there, saying, you wouldn't believe, maybe it sounds small, what is that really going to do? But they have just been writing back saying it's been awesome to see these people who are kind of coming alive and realizing they're not forgotten, they're not alone, and we're all in this together. So it was just something small, but kind of how can we be the hands and feet of Jesus right now? Of course, we try to do that with our neighbors and those sorts of things. But that was one, I think, tangible, what have we done? And it was awesome to be a part of.
Beautiful. I love that. Well done. That's awesome. Vicki, what about you? What hope stories you sing of love and kindness being demonstrated within your city?
We, similar to what Alita was saying about sending out notes, our church created postcards to mail in. 60,000 of them went out just to remind people of online services and how we can reach out, and very easy way for somebody to get experienced in church that has never entered a church building before. So that was encouraging. But I think the most that I've seen is we have a bus ministry at our church, and we have a pastor just dedicated to that ministry. And one of the areas, there's Langley Township, and then there's a smaller area called City of Langley. Two different municipalities. City of Langley is only about 24,000 residents. The township is much, much larger. And but that's where we have most vulnerable people. Whether it's homeless, but mostly a lot of low-income families that are really needing assistance, especially during this time of COVID. And so the bus ministry has gone in and been working with them, making sure they're getting meals. They usually get them at school, so they're not getting them now from school. So they're making sure that they're getting meals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're partnering with other organizations such as, and Anne and Helen Burns, who's on here, be familiar with this, is City Dream Center, and working with them, a partnership with them to make sure that the most vulnerable are being taken care of. So I just love how the church is stepping up to that, because people are going to see that, and they're going to see the good works that we're doing, hopefully see the good works that the church is doing, and make them want to inquire a little bit more about what this is about being involved in a church.
Yeah, that's really great. So the hands and feet, very practical needs being met by the church and the people who are, say we follow Jesus. So it's not just talking about it. We're going to pray for you. We're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love that. Stephanie, what about you? I mean, with being a hairstyle, your work and what that has meant being a hairstylist and, the challenges there, but hope stories for you in your context and in your city. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I was aware that City Dream Center was needing some help, so I shout that out to my staff. We're still meeting together once a week via Zoom meetings and stuff, and we brought toilet paper for the needs of that, and that was really incredible that we're all in different places, but we all have that heart for our community and for our city, and that's even part of like our mission and vision, is to serve our community with how we can as hairstylists. And a lot of times that is, free haircuts for different men and women that might be in need at that time. But right now, how can we do it? And that was, a simple roll of toilet paper or a package of toilet paper that we had left and extra. So that was really awesome. And my daughter and I have been making Disneyland. they launched their food blog of things that people really love, because Disneyland is closed. So churros and beignets were things that they gave their recipes up for. And so my daughter and I made heart-shaped beignets, and she wrote a beautiful note to each one of our neighbors. And as I fried them, she ran a bag over to each house and gave them away. And we, in turn, we did not want anything back. But I am telling you, the amount of flowers that we've gotten and hanging baskets is incredible. And it's just this time where I am a busy person, and I'm out of the house, and I'm working in church, and I'm serving in church, and I'm serving in my business. And I don't often get the chance to sit down and have a conversation with my neighbors from my patio. So this has been really a beautiful time of getting to know people's names and faces and who they are, and serving them too. So it's been awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And have you found that too for yourself? I mean, you're just seeing the hope stories of love and kindness really kind of coming up during a pandemic and crisis like we've never seen before, in a way.
Absolutely. I'm sensing that it's that there's a verse in John that I think that the disciples, with the way that they love each other, that's the way that the world would know who Christ is. And it's that verse coming to life, that as each person in the church, maybe before we took for granted that we gathered, and that together in the gathering we would do something, but now it's, as individuals, our faith is increasing. We're becoming mobilized. Like I'm just so blessed to see also a unity within the church body. It's not about this place or that place or the other. It's together. Let's be a light right now. And so it's this individual yet corporate blessing that has happened. It's fascinating to witness.
Yeah, that's amazing.